Hiya everybody, I'll briefly talk about this house and its history before I get to the tree. Most people that go to the house say they'll go and find the tree, but they never find it. I had the opposite. I found the tree before I found the house, and I couldn't find the house, and curiosity got the best of me. And all the videos I've seen of people getting to the house, nobody comes in from this direction as I do. But that's because I fell into the house. I was happy not to get into the house or look at the house because evidently it's been locked away, which it has. And then it's in the Peak District, and I was on like a hill, and I fell. And I fell into like the grounds of the house, and I was locked in. So you've got people trying to break in to have a look at the house. I'm locked in, I'm trying to break out. And everybody that visits are evidently tiny human beings, and they create tiny holes in fences, and I'm ginormous, and I'm just stuck thinking, how the hell do I get out of here? Anyway, I will do some history of this house. It's fairly infamous amongst people that like to urban explore. So if we look at the old house again, you'll see that it does look like it's in two parts. The Tudor part was extended, but the first part was purchased by Francis Hurt. It was built in 1848, and he built it for his unmarried daughters, Emma, Elizabeth and Selina, to free up space at Older Wolseley Hall. But they refused to move in, so he ended up leasing it to his blacksmith. And then it got extended to this Tudor exterior. I love that old picture. I didn't line it up very well at all. Apologies for that. It was then extended by another architect in 1894. That's why you'll see two dates on the home. The Tudor bit has 1894 on it. But after the Second World War, it was split into flats. It was 12 flats. But in the 1970s, it started to deteriorate, and the local council housed the residents in alternative accommodation, and it's been abandoned ever since the 1970s. The Wireworks, which are the other buildings that in the intro I was walking by, they went bankrupt in 85, and the deterioration of the house just escalated. It's been approved to be demolished, but that permission expired in the year 2000, and Litchfield Group, they use the Wireworks for storage. They own the land where this house is, and they don't do anything for the upkeep, I don't believe, and the house is just falling apart. The house, honestly, if you are into urban exploring and stuff, this house is incredibly delicate. I was stood around the other side, and a bit of the roof fell, and if it had landed on my head, I don't know if I would be telling this story. So just be incredibly careful. I know the risk is part of the allure, but just be careful out there, folks. And it does get damaged and vandalised. It used to be, I believe, easy to get to. I don't believe it was locked away, but it is locked away now as well. So I will now get to the tree. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of information. How come in every direction that I look, it looks fairly pleasant? How come I've come from down there? The bloody hill. That is not fair. I didn't realise this was so difficult to get to. What a beautiful area though. So yeah, we are at the Rock-A-Bye Baby tree. I didn't realise the whole woods had died. Everything's been torn down, but this tree, the legend lives on. So, as the story goes, in the late 1700s, or in the 1700s, Betty Kenny lived in these woods with her husband, Luke. They had 8 children, and imagine that this splintered old tree was a giant yew tree, and they had like a turf-covered hut. They had a turf-covered hut that used to stand beneath it. Now, the reason that they lived in these woods is because they were charcoal burners and they worked for the Hurt family. The Hurt family were cool name. And apparently they liked this tree because one of their children is buried beneath it. Now again, you've got to imagine this is a giant yew tree. And the reason the nursery rhyme came about is because in one of the branches of the hollowed out tree, they would put a little cradle and the wind would rock it and the children would fall asleep. And now the legend of Betty Kenny and the tree inspired the nursery rhyme Rock-A-Bye Baby. Now, I love stuff like this. I love legends. I'm so intrigued on how it grew and how it stayed going hundreds of years. Now, the nursery rhyme, the origins of that are, you can date it, the first printed version to the 1700s. There are a few different theories of how the nursery rhyme came about. It is described as an English poem written on American soil. But after all these years, the tree is still there. Now, I suppose this bit's getting a lot longer than I thought. The reason it's like this is it was vandalised. And now doing these videos, I always talk about things being vandalised. This was vandalised in the 1930s. It was burnt and it was splintered. Now, I didn't know all these woods, all the trees had been torn down. But two things. It must mean there's a disease in the forest or something, I don't know. But it's made it a lot easier to find. I came straight to it and I thought I'd be looking for hours. But if you do want to come, just follow the white posts. And it is a beautiful hike. I think you can come in from all different directions, but I came from I came up the big hill. So it's typical me. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you have. Take care. Bye.